And also Ritu Mataji has joined from India in the early morning hours. This shows your sincerity and dedication to read here Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So very, very inspiring. Thank you. Thank you for joining. So we will get started for today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā. Bhagavati uttamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Aradhayo bhagavan vrajeshatanayas tadhama vrindavanam. Ramya kachitupasana vrajavadhu vargena va kalpita. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam pramanamamalam prema pumartho mahan. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu matamidam tatradharana paraha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityaṁ. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear Vaishnavas. We are reading Canto 10, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, chapter number 20, entitled The Rainy Season and Autumn in Vrindavan. So we have read the last chapter, which was Krishna swallowing the forest fire, and discuss in great length and detail with wonderful lessons. So we'll now move on to this wonderful chapter, chapter 20. So a short summary. Maybe Lakshay, you want to read the summary?
Yes, Guruji. To enhance the description of Lord Krishna's pastimes, Sri Shukadeva Goswami describes in this chapter the beauty of Vrindavana during autumn and the rainy season. In the course of his presentation, he gives various charming instructions in metaphorical terms. Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much. So this is a short summary of this chapter. We will move on to the first verse. Shri Shuka Vacha Tayostad Adbhutam Karma Davagnir Mokshamatmanaha Gopastribhya Samachakyuhu Pralamba Vadham Evacha. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Abhicharana Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shukadeva Goswami said to the ladies of Vrindavan, the cowherd boys then related in full detail Krishna's and Balram's wonderful activities of delivering them from the forest fire and killing the demon Pralamba. Hare Krishna. So, as we know, looks like these two Leelas maybe happen on the same day, right? Pralambasur Vada Leela and the forest fire Leela. I have not read the Pralambasur chapter actually. Maybe you can help me.
Just the previous chapter before the swallowing the forest fire. Yes, Prabhuji. After killing the Palombo, so Krishna and the coward boys was in the forest,
And they were playing.
and then this happened, the forest fire.
So every day the boys would come back and narrate the wonderful pastimes of Krishna Balram, what happened on the previous day, what happened today in the forest. And the ladies of Vrindavan, referred to as here, let's read the word to word also. Adbhuta karma. So the Gopa would narrate Stribhyaha to all the ladies in great detail. Sama Chakyuhu. They described in great detail, That means they were not just, we should not hurry for just the story of Krishna. Story we can read in one, as even the previous chapter. If I have to just tell the story, oh, Krishna and Balram, the friends were playing, suddenly the cows, went to the forest, and then the boys went to look for him. Suddenly there was a fire, and Krishna came to help them, then he swallowed the fire, and they all came back. 1 minute story done. But what do devotees like? Oh, tell me in more detail. I'm interested to hear in more detail, right? This is natural love. When there is love, you want to hear in more detail. And Tayo, that means of Krishna Balram. So every day they would come, the Gopas would come, and the Gopas were witness of all these pastimes. So they would narrate. So in this case, they are narrating these episodes of the Adbhuta, the amazing actions, Davagni, Panila, and the Pralambasur Vadha Leela. Let's see what happens further. Text 2. Would someone like to read? Yes, Baldev Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, the honorable pranam, all Krishna Śrī Prabhupada. Text 1. See Gopa Vriddascha Gopascha Tat Upakarnaya Vishmita Many Devo Prabharo Krishna Ramao Brajam Gato. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, and his disciples, Kid Joy. Translation. The elder cowherd men and ladies were amazed to hear this account, and they concluded that Krishna and Balaram must be exalted demigods who had appeared in Vrindavan. So the devotees in Vrindavan all are Brajavasis. So the parents of the cowherd boys, they at best think Krishna has some power, likely demigods, but definitely not the God himself, because they're in the Rashas of Vatsala Rasha. So they cannot think he's a supreme personality with awe and reverence. So at best they can think the both Lord as their demigods. Thank you, Prabhuji. Back to you.
Hare Krishna. So we read this in the previous verse also. Previous chapter, where the friends were considering them as demigods. And they're thinking, well, we are same, so if he is demigod, then we're also demigod. So this is their love and devotion. Now, all the ladies are, when they are hearing the Adbhuta karma, amazing activities, they are thinking, oh, and then look at all the other amazing activities. So sometimes momentarily they would think, oh, he is something extraordinary, he's something. But then again, their vatsalya, their love would be so high, and then he would come stealing butter. Oh, is it demigod? Demigod stealing butter? demigod trying to play with little cows and holding their tails, and then Krishna, by his sweet enchanting pastimes, melt their hearts over and over again. So this is dear Krishna. Text 3. Yes. Dear Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhu. Hare Kṛṣṇa, devotees, Dandat Pranam, all best to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 3. Tata pravartata pravar sarvata sarvasatva samudbhava vidyot manam paridher vishpur chita nabhastana. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Then the rainy season began, giving life and sustenance to all living beings. The sky began to rumble with thunder, and lightning flashed on the horizon. As we wonderfully explained, the elder godly men and ladies were, amazed, and Krishna would perform, his leelas, and suddenly he would go and steal the butter, or like that. But at the same time now, we are seeing that the rainy season is beginning, and all the living beings, and thunder storms, flashing. So they're all having a nice time. Please ask that question.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Dear Prabhu, for this nice verse. Who all like rainy season? Anyone likes rains?
I like it.
Many people like it, especially it's before the summer. It's after the summers, right? The rains, excess of everything, we take it for granted. But when you are in the summer months in India, then those rains, those fresh rainy season is so welcomed. The sky began to rumble with thunder. Especially these days we take things for granted, but rain is so much required and essential for the ecological balance. Hardly anyone cares about it these days. It's so much required for the good yield of crops. So basically giving life. Then the rainy season began, giving life and sustenance to all living beings, right? Giving life and sustenance to all living beings. So all these natural resources are Krishna's creation. We should not, whether it's the sun or the light or anything in that matter, sun, light, moon, etc., rains, we should not take them for granted. They are the creation. This is a culture of interdependence, which Bhagavad Gita teaches us. What is that famous verse? Annad Bhavati. Anyone knows this? Parjanyo. Let's see if I can find that. Okay. Bhagavad Gita 3.14. Let's read that. Okay. From the rains, this nice verse. Bhagavad Gita 3.14. Yes, Babu Prabhu, you want to read? Or Lakshmi?
Yeah, I can read too. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhava Yajñāt bhavati parjanyo yajñā karma samudbhava. Translation: all living bodies subsists on good food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. Purport: Srila Baladeva Vidyabhushana, a great commentator
Yeah,
on
this is fine. The translation is fine. This is like a reference verse for what we are reading. This is Bhagavad Gita. So basically, I wanted to bring up this point here that Krishna mentions about rains and the importance of rain and the culture of interdependence. No one can deny that we are dependent on food grains, but how do we get food grains? I mean, unfortunately, the kids these days may not be even aware. Oh, you go to a grocery store, Publix, you get food grains. Oh, you get, maybe it's in the microwave or it's in the refrigerator. You buy a pack of this or you put in the oven and then you get the food. But that's not how the food comes. It comes from the earth. It comes from the rains. It comes from the yajna, and yajna comes from prescribed duties. In short, it's all connected around Krishna. So giving life, and so we should expose our children to these things. Oh, how does milk come? It doesn't come from from Walmart or Publix. It comes from cows. How do cows get milk? They get grains. They get grasses. How do those come? So then we learn how everything is dependent on God. So rainy season is very, very important. And for this whole chapter here in Bhagavatam, so we can understand the importance of rains in our lives for sustenance to all living beings. Lightning and so there was the sky was rumbling with thunder, clouds in short, and lightning, right, flashed on the horizon. So there's no purport, but I think we discussed. But let's move to the next verse, text number 4. Anyone would like to read?
I can read.
Okay, I think you all will get chance today. Puna Mataji, you can read and then Shurma Mataji can read the following one.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Text 4. Sandra Nilam Budar Pyoma Savidyut Satanayut Nu Biphi Aspasta Jyotir Acham Nam Brahmeva Sagunam Babho. Translation and purport. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The sky was then covered by dense blue clouds, accompanied by lightning and thunder. Thus, the sky and its natural illumination were covered in the way that the spirit soul is covered by 3 modes of material nature. Purport. Lightning is compared to the mode of goodness. Thunder is the mode of passion, and clouds to the mode of ignorance. Thus, the cloudy sky at the onset of the rainy season is analogous to the pure spirit soul when he becomes disturbed by the modes of nature, for at that time he is covered and his original brilliant nature is only dimly reflected through the haze of material qualities. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Back to you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Mataji, for reading this. There's a lot in this few lines, right? I think we need to reread it too, because there is so much. So the sky is covered with dense blue clouds. Okay, let's take step by step. Dense blue clouds, what does it remind us? Ghana Shama, Megha Shama. Shama means dark blue. Krishna steals that color from the clouds. Of course, who is he to steal from anyone or anything? Because everything belongs to him. But in short, it's like a metaphor, again, poetic way to say he is the same as the color of the clouds. Or clouds are this Krishna's color. Or dense, dark, blue, clouds. Nila, Ambu, right? There's a famous bhajan also in this. Vraje prasidham navanita chauram Gopangananam chadukula chauram. Krishna is the famous amongst the topmost amongst all thieves. Anika janmarjita papa chauram chauragraganyam purusham namami Shri Radhikaya hridayasya chauram Navambuddha shama lakanti chauram. Navambuddha shama. So Ambuddha, as you see here, the word Ambuddha is coming. As you see here, the word Ambuddha is coming. Ambuddha, Nila Ambuddha. So Nile Ambu, that means blue clouds. So Krishna steals Nava. Nava means fresh. Nava Ambuddha or Nila Ambuddha, same. Shama, Shama is dark. Kanti is color. Chauram, it means he steals that color. So that's the meaning here. Sa Vidyut, along with lightning also, and thunder, and illumination. So I think if we do this in a whiteboard, you'll be able to understand this better. It's opening up. Let's see if we can use the whiteboard. Where was we? Okay, let's use this. So this was our previous chapter. We'll come to this chapter. Okay. So we'll go step by step and try to analyze the meaning and draw also. Okay, so you're all with me? We read that, so fourth verse, right? Lightning is compared to mode of goodness, right? Thunder to mode of passion. And the clouds to the mode of ignorance. So there are three modes here. Thus, the cloudy sky at the onset of the rainy season is analogous to pure soul when he becomes disturbed by the modes of nature, for at that time he is covered, and his original brilliant nature is only dimly reflected through the haze of material qualities. So what are the three coverings of at the onset of rain? Okay, lightning, thunder, and what else? The clouds.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone good so far? Because it's important to dissect, otherwise there's a lot of like words here. We'll be lost. The three things happen during the rains, at the onset of rains. Lightning happens, thunder happens, and clouds. They're compared to different modes: Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun, goodness, passion, ignorance. So similarly, the soul is all pure. Okay, let's have this just for okay. Then there is covering of different layers. These are the different coverings of the soul, or around the soul, you can say. So it's analogous. So the rainy season, is analogous to the pure spirit soul, and he becomes disturbed by the modes of nature. So what are the modes of nature? Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, goodness, passion, ignorance. For at that time he's covered by his original brilliant nature. And what is that? Original brilliant nature? What does that mean? Original brilliant nature of the spirit soul.
So pure soul is Krishna conscious, but when it's covered by these three modes, then we are material conscious.
Yes. Jivira Surup Hoy Krishna Nitya Das. Krishna Tathastha Shakti Bheda Bheda Prakash. The pure nature or the original brilliant nature of the spirit soul is that we are eternal servant of the gopis who are the servants of Krishna. That means we are original servants, eternal servants of Krishna. But by these coverings, by these different modes, we think, oh, I am Indian. Oh, I'm American. Oh, I'm engineer. Oh, I'm a doctor. Oh, I'm a lawyer. Oh, I'm white. Oh, I'm black. And then these different natures try to influence and all that is reflected through the haze of material qualities. It is reflected in the way we talk, the way we behave, the way we react to situations. It's all reflected there, is it not? It is not our true nature. Our true nature is Krishna consciousness, pure Krishna conscious servants. And that's what the scriptures say. We have to cleanse this. These are the different coverings, covering the true, original, bright nature. When we do, like the other example is when Prahlad Maharaj, the great devotee, was asked by his father, why are you so attached to Krishna? He said, what can I do? Sorry, I'm helpless. Like a magnet is naturally, like iron is naturally attracted to the magnet. What can I do? I am like that iron. And Krishna is like that magnet. So let's consider here. There is a block of iron, okay? And then here is a magnet, right? That's how we draw the magnet. Correct? So this magnet is basically Krishna. There's iron, and this is iron, okay? Does iron have magnetism in it? Right? It's natural. The iron has magnetism. So the iron doesn't need to the iron doesn't need to be told, hey, the magnet is near you, go be attracted. You know, the iron is naturally pulled towards the magnet. But there is a problem. What is the problem? There is covered with it's covered with rust. So it's covered with rust in this case. In the previous example, different modes, the rust of false ego, the rust of lust, the rust of the material modes, it's covered. And what happens? Is the magnetism lost? No, the magnetism is still there. But what needs to happen? The cleansing with the eraser of holy name. Cheto darpana marjanam. So, oops, we have to clean we have to clean we have to cleanse the rust of different modes, right? By chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And gradually, slowly, step by step, all the impurities are gone. And that's it. the iron again is naturally attracted towards the magnet, towards the, it's fresh, its original brilliant nature is rekindled. Fan the spark, Prabhupada said. It's there, right? We have to fan the spark. The other example, in this case, we studied through the rains. The other example is also sometimes it's inside the, it's covered, like the smoke covering the fire, right? That example is also given. So whenever we see rains, great souls derive lessons in every aspect they see. Anything they see, they are always looking for lessons. So does that help now? So the different coverings, like the clouds, let's go, clouds, thunder, and lightning, in that order. Okay, clouds, thunder, lightning, ignorance, passion, and goodness. Is it okay now to digest? Yes.
Okay, so this lightning, thunder, and clouds, are these the rust? You're referring these three things as a rust on us?
Yeah, these per se are not the rust on us. The different modes are on the rust on us. There's the metaphorical example, like the rain is surrounded by these things. Similarly, the soul is covered by the different modes of material modes, like passion, ignorance, and goodness. Those are and their associated things. Those are the things which are the different lust, anger, greed. These are all outcome of different modes. That's the rust on us. Or it's covering us, like how these things. So that's a metaphorical or allegorical example, and an analogy, right? Like the poets use it a lot. So Shukdev Goswami, being an expert poet, uses these examples. Does that help?
Not very clear.
It's like saying, metaphorical. For example, if I say the soul is like the driver in a car, right? Then we are doing a metaphorical example, like the body is like the car, and the driver. So body is covering the soul, right? Like my body, my hand, my head, my nose, my eyes, etc. It's my body. I'm not the body, right? I don't say I body, it's my body, right? And it's covering the soul. The soul is inside, correct? Similarly, the driver is inside the car. So it's a metaphorical way of saying, like, as the driver is in the car, the soul is in the body. Kind of explaining that point. So as the material modes cover the soul, similarly the clouds, the thunder and lightning are covering the rain. That helps? Or
Suppose you can add one line.
yeah, please.
So actually, these clouds, thunder, and lightning, as per the purport, is covering the sky. So due to this covering, thus we cannot see the blue lights, bright sky. It is written, it is covered, and his original brilliant nature is only dimly reflected through this cloud. So like the soul is not originally reflected as Krishna consciousness to the material nature. So the sky is compared metaphorically with the pure soul, pure spirit, that we don't see in the rainy season.
Thanks, Prabhu. I think I said earlier, the rain, it's a rainy season, the sky of the rainy season. Yes. Yeah, we see thunder, we see light, we see clouds, we don't see the sky, right? Similarly, we see persons' material qualities, oh, he's like, let's say if I start shouting and start expressing anger, it's a product of mode of ignorance. Correct? That's not my true nature. That's not anyone's true nature. Right? Similarly, someone may be exhibiting pious qualities, mode of goodness. Someone may be exhibiting mode of passion. Someone may be just like to sleep 10 hours, 12 hours, exhibiting mode of ignorance. So those we see, right? We only see the externals. But great souls are able to see that there is a true spirit soul behind all those actions. So that's the lesson Prabhupada is sharing, the Bhagavatam is sharing through this example. Is
Okay,
Ritu Mataji?
got it. Yeah, got it. So these lightning, thunder, the metaphor that you have mentioned, that's how our soul are covered with,
Yes, with the
and that's
material
how
clouds,
the we are not able to track to the bigger magnet because of these covering.
because of the material coverings. Correct.
Okay, got it.
And the practical example is Srila Prabhupada's disciples. They were doing all sorts of wrong things like intoxication, gambling, illicit sex, etc. But Prabhupada didn't reject them. Correct? He saw that their original spiritual nature. Sthavara jangama na dekhi tara murti, sarvatra hoye, ishta deva sfurti. He does not see moving or non-moving. He sees the soul and Paramatma, Atma and Paramatma in every jiva, in every body. Right? And then he helped them, encouraged them to bring that tiny spark and turn that into an inferno, a volcano of spiritual consciousness. And then all the impurities gone. All it's all filed, it's all removed. The impurities. It's like when the clouds, when the sun actually is going to come later. Actually, we're like jumping a little ahead. But since you asked, when the sun comes, then the true sky is seen. When the sun of bhakti comes in the life, through the medium of Gita, Bhagavat, words of Krishna consciousness, then the true brilliance is seen. It's going to come a little ahead, but since you're asking, and we're having this good discussion, right? Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hare Krishna. Okay, very nice, good discussion. So I think Shroma Mataji is about to read the text number 5. Shroma Mataji? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Ashtau masa nipitam yad bhumyashchodamayam vasu svagobhirmukto maribhe parjanya kala agate. So I see the translation. Oh, yeah, no, I can't see it.
Please, you should be able to see, Mata. Please read.
Yeah, my streaming was stuck. Sorry. Translation by the disciples of Śrī Prabhupada. Yeah, I forgot the rest. With its rays, the sun had for 8 months drunk up the earth's wealth in the form of water. Now that the proper time had arrived, the sun began releasing this accumulated wealth. Should I read the purport also? Okay.
Please.
Purport. The Acharyas compare the sun's evaporating the earth's wealth of water to a king's collecting taxes. In chapter 20 of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada explains this analogy as follows. Clouds are accumulated water drawn from the land by the sunshine. Continually for 8 months, the sun evaporates all kinds of water from the surface of the globe, and this water is accumulated in the shape of clouds, which are distributed as water when there is need. Similarly, a government exacts various taxes from the citizens, such as income tax and sales tax, which the citizens are able to pay.
Somehow you went on mute. Can you unmute, please?
Yes. Yeah, sorry about that. Um, I think I went mute from similarly. Similarly, a government exacts various taxes from the citizens, such as income tax and sales tax, which the citizens are able to pay by their different material activities, agriculture, trade, industry, and so on. This taxation is compared to the sun's drawing water from the earth. When there is again need of water on the surface of the globe, the same sunshine converts the water into clouds and distributes it all over the globe. Similarly, the taxes collected by the government must be distributed to the people again, as educational work, public work, sanitation work, and so on. This is very essential for good government. The government should not simply exact taxes for useless squandering. The tax collection should be utilized for the public welfare of the state. Back to you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, any comments, any thoughts, additional things you want to add?
No, I'll just wait for your explanation, Prabhuji.
Okay. So I think we have all studied this in our childhood, right? I will just share that. The water cycle, right? A very, very simple example of water cycle, but look at the scriptures are so interesting, right? The scriptures are so interesting that we can make Krishna consciousness so much fun, interesting, even for kids, adults, everyone, right? Let's analyze this verse in a little more detail. So what's happening here? The sun with its rays for 8 months, that means when the rain is not there, is drinking up the earth's wealth. So what's happening here? Here is the sun, right? And the sun is drinking. What is the wealth? Water is the wealth here, right? Basically, the sun takes the water, right? As so, the sun is compared to what here? The government. The government. The government takes different things from the people. So the earth here is the people. Correct? Or the masses. So the acharyas, or a king, right? Or you can say the king or the government. You can say the sun is like the king. But what is the king does some taxation, sales tax, income tax, property tax, what so many different taxes, right? And in India there is what there is some new 18%. What is that tax?
GST.
GST. I was recently there, forgot everything has GST. So GST, VAT, and all the excise duty and export duty and this duty, and I mean there's so many things. Anyways, we all get that, right? But we're talking about a good government. We're not talking about contemporary situation. So we're not going to politics and all that. We're talking about ideal the great kings like Ramarajya, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, they would also take taxes from the government, but they would give it back in the form of facilities like good security, right? Protecting from the bad people, right? Security, like the government is supposed to protect the people as their own children. The king is supposed to protect the people in the form of like public facilities, roads, infrastructure, hospitals and stuff, and parks and so many things the government is. So it's this kind of a two-way street. That's what is and it applies everywhere, right? It applies everywhere. Because whether community, whether it's a organization, right? We all work for some organization. We give our part, or you can say the company boss extracts work from us and gives us the salary, correct? Right? So it works everywhere. You know, everything can be compared to like a small garment, right? Even at home. And this principle can be applied even when kids ask for some facilities. You can say, okay, it's a two-way street. Here are some responsibilities also. If you do things responsibly, then you will get good facilities also. But if you don't act in a responsible way, right, then you don't deserve those facilities. The bad people don't deserve those facilities, right? The criminals, they're put in the jail. They don't get the facilities of, the good government because they are not good citizens. They're not acting in the interest of the government. So they will be punished. So the taxes collected by the government must be distributed to the people in the form of public work, education, hospitals, and which are essential for good. So basically, you see here a very nice system is being taught. How a good government should function. So Bhagavatam teaches us everything. And this can be applied at home. This applies to any organization. This applies everywhere. Right? Any other thoughts, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This text very much inspired me, this series of texts, and I took a little note here so I can try to collect this. So please check if I understood this correctly. In Bhakti, the sun is shining. While connected with Krishna, while chanting, we know the full illuminated and brilliant sky is there. While chanting, not only do we know it's there, it's like we are flying in the blue sky, perhaps even orbiting the sun. We know by experience, by chanting, that the sky is there and the sun is there. The performing of devotional service is like planting seeds in the farmland. Then when it rains, like suffering in life, in material life, we learn from this and burn off past karmic patterns. And so even when it rains and the sky is covered, we aren't worried about material covering of the thunder and the clouds and the lightning. We just accept rain as it must water the seeds we planted. And the harvest is like the burning off of karmic weight and the deepening of bhakti. Hare Krishna.
Very well. That was like a sweet article with so poetic phrases. Yeah, you should. Are you like a writer or something? It was very sweet and devotional.
I watch and Krishna writes and listens.
That's what Prabhupada's mood also was, that he never said that he wrote these books. And actually, there have been multiple examples of where Krishna, I'll share sometime those stories, where Krishna personally comes and tells you, write this, you write that. And Govinda Bhashya, and in the lives of many, many acharyas, this has happened. Of course, Prabhupada never said that he wrote these books. He said, it's Krishna, because Krishna wrote these books. Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for such sweet on the spot, simultaneously rendering, which is an expression of bhakti. Writing prayers, writing our heart, writing, phrases, or whatever, like lines, extracts, poems, articles. It's a way to express devotion. Some people are more verbal, some people like to express through writing. Both are great. Some people just like to recapitulate in their mind. So this is very nice. After Shravanam comes Smaranam. After hearing comes remembrance. And the remembrance is strengthened when we articulate it in the form of words, or on paper, or in through mouth. Thank you. Very nice. Any other thoughts? Any comments? Anything before we wrap up for today? It's because the next verse is a little longer, so we won't be able to cover it. But we can take one or two comments if anyone has. Okay, so this chapter is...
Not
Yes.
from this, not from this verse. The previous verse, you mentioned that everything is a part of ecosystem. It's not we that doing it. We are not bringing that, or we are not earning that. It's the part of ecosystem, or Lord is doing it. That is actually, relearning the previous concept. With time, we believe that it's we who are earning. It's I am earning, or I am doing this. But that was really relearning what we have learned previously. That it's not I am doing it. It's the entire ecosystem who is helping us to getting it done.
Very nice. It's a very beautiful point. And that's one of the main lessons of chapter 3. That a foolish person thinks that out of ignorance that I am the doer. But actually we are not the doer. We are dependent on the food. Food comes from rains come from yajna comes from prescribed duty. So it's a culture of interdependence. Shastras teach us the culture of interdependence. The modern world teaches us, oh, independent. You can do anything you want. You can climb the mountains. You can you can go to the moon. But unfortunately, even in the name of feminism, what's happening? Exploitation. That's all. Exploitation is happening in the name of, oh, women can do anything, oh, men can do anything. This is not. We are interdependent, whether we are male or female, whether we are Indian or American. Not only on the other living beings, we are interdependent on so many aspects: nature, environment, etc., etc. And ultimately, all depends on Krishna's mercy. So, beautiful point, reflection. Thank you.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji. It just made me think of a song lyric I heard in a totally unrelated song that actually resonated with me so much, on this idea of surrender and controller and controlled. And the line in the song said, "You are one of a kind in the way you are replaced." So it's like, you're one of a kind in the way we are all replaced when we surrender to Krishna. Krishna is the controller, but it's like we're one of a kind in the way we are replaced, yet we're one in that we are all replaced. So it's it's very nice way of saying unity and diversity. And it just inspired me a lot. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. It's so true. Okay, so see, Bhagavatam is so sweet and gives different flavors. Some like stories, some like these environment, and not just in the environment, lessons from that. There's a beautiful book called The Light of the Bhagavat. It's time, but I will maybe mention about it tomorrow. But it's all connected to this chapter, so we will talk about it tomorrow. To give you a suspense. Light of the Bhagavat. So it's connected to this chapter. If you like, you can get that small book. It has a lot of wonderful paintings in the Oriental fashion. So I think this was good. We covered the 5 verses of chapter 22 entitled The Autumn and the Rainy Season, which brings fresh joy and life. So keeping that as our remembrance, let's meditate on that and we'll reconvene in 24 hours. Canto Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Jagadguru Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you again. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody.